Welcome to Chronic Combat Conversations, a live look at our best bets, picks, and predictions for every UFC event with your hosts, TB Scouting MMA and
The Guru back again for UFC Sao Paulo. We've got Jalton Almeida taking on Derek Lewis. Heavyweight banger between, are you kidding me, the Black Beast and Malhadinho? What a banger. We're happy to be back. We're happy to be watching fights. We're happy to be with you. Man, what a card! What a good card! Yeah, I mean, off the heels of obviously a week off, but off the heels of an awesome pay-per-view, incredible knockout, just sick stuff. The chat is going wild right now. What is up, Lou?
absolutely crazy,
really amazing. What are you D-Gens doing tonight? What are you guys doing out here?
They are pulling up to Guru and TB, looking to have a fantastic time. Before we get started, please, if you haven't done the most important thing, please throw a like on the video. Please subscribe to the channel. We're on the countdown to 500. Please help us get there. It would mean the world. We really appreciate all the support. Daz, Lou, Mushroom, what's going on, people? You guys are the absolute best. And yeah, all right, we do have to be late. It's kind of a Chronic Combat thing. And hell yeah, we just really appreciate all you guys going crazy already. Just amazing energy. And why not? Oh, vamos! Oh, vamos! Let's go. It's the Brazilian crowd. Let's see if we can get the party rolling. In the main event, what the people came for, we got Jailton Malhadinho Almeida versus Derek the Black Beast Lewis. And oh my word, Derek was just so excited for this fight. He had to get there as fast as possible. Decided to go drag
racing.
In his Lamborghini. Going 100, what was it? 86 miles over the speed limit or something. I mean, Derek Lewis just couldn't wait to get to Brazil. But what's most important is we got minus 500 on Malhadinho. We got a plus 380, the comeback on Derek, the Black Beast Lewis. You got to give the people what they want. And oh my Louis, right, his wheels was hot. So that's he has the best built-in excuse for why he needed to go fast. He just needed to get home because his balls.
Is that also a pun because like Hot Wheels, like driving a fast car, like no, like the little race cars.
Shit.
No,
you're right. I like that. Hot Wheels. Damn,
I'm just operating on a different plane right now. You know what I'm saying?
Just absolutely on another level. And I think that's kind of how we can segue here to Jalton Almeida's jiu-jitsu and ground game here. Just
I don't know. Right? Did you hear press conferences today? Did you hear media day?
I legitimately didn't.
Derek Lewis said that he thinks he can get a leg lock on Almeida round 1. So,
dude, okay, so here, let me put it this way. I already put it out there in the Twitterverse, and I need to ask you people what you think out here. Is this the week where Derek Lewis just says Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is not real and just stands up whenever he wants to? He's done it before, right?
Is it for against who?
I don't know. His like stand-ups. That's what he does all the time. Like what?
Against
but
what
it's against guys that don't have jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I bet you win it. Exactly. What was the last guy?
Ilir Latifi.
Yeah, he's really known for his jiu-jitsu.
Blagoy, your boy Ivanov.
Yes, the mission artist, if I've ever seen one.
All right, listen. But what I will say, though, if anything, Derek Lewis has been showing like a renewed effort toward his overall physical shape.
He's one fight.
But let's see what he looks like on the scale, right?
Against a loser, like a literal bona fide loser in Rogério de Lima. Like,
oh my goodness.
Just a scrub, man. A guy that really hasn't beaten enough people. And I think that was fairly obvious, and it showed up in that big moment last fight. Jalton Almeida, right? He hasn't really faced any level of any resistance so far in the UFC. And they give him the okay.
What about the one takedown that Jairzinho stuffed?
Okay, you mean like
legitimately one takedown,
like literal physical resistance. Yeah, the 4-second takedown that Almeida shot to start the fight that he didn't set up at all. Yes, you're right. It got stuffed. But guess what? He was in on one. 35, 40 seconds later, and he got it. So
all right, but what do you think about his I'm gonna drop down to 2 knees on the double leg approach? Is that not a recipe for disaster?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, really,
Like,
you
so
really
here's my thought is that Jaltin, the fact that there's no real heavyweight wrestlers like in general. So a lot of these guys facing him are facing their first person, like committed to a heavy takedown and
sure.
jujitsu approach at heavyweight, right? And Jaltin, he's really a light heavyweight, right? Like legitimately a light heavyweight. And who has he faced at heavyweight? That's a legitimate heavyweight so far.
Nobody, listen, nobody really.
Nobody, right? So if you're telling me that there's a plus 380 in a heavyweight fight, I'm just going to be stupid enough to have like
No.
a little sprinkle.
Well, listen, no, I will, because I'm not going to let you do that. I'm not going to let you play Derek Lewis at plus 380 because there's no
You need to
reason to.
do other things, right?
Of
Tell me
course,
what
you
you should
have.
really
Well,
do.
what you have to do is you have to play Derek Lewis by knockout if you're going to be playing the dog and in this fight, right? Because there's no, I don't see a world where this fight goes the distance. So
I mean, it's negative 30,000. So
sure, listen, whatever you want to throw 2 pennies on there, and I mean literally 2 pennies. Yeah, go right ahead.
yeah, that's fair.
Derek Lewis by knockout is plus 450, and that is his win condition. I promise. It's if he can knock out Jalton Almeida, surprise him, catch him with a flying knee while he's coming in. Sure, okay, plus 450. Take your sprinkle, take your hedge, do what you got to do. Otherwise, Jalton is going to strangle him.
That's fair.
It will be that simple. Derek Lewis is a quitter. Derek Lewis is shies up in the big moment, main event, Brazil.
Brazil.
Brazil. Yeah, I just don't I don't see it. So I like Jalton. I honestly haven't gotten a chance to look into the props yet. I kind of thinking like a round 1 or a round 2 idea. What's like a round 2 submission dart throw? Like that's maybe
All
where
right.
I'm thinking.
We need to have a quick conversation because I've seen it. I think Couch Warrior played it, maybe Propaholic, maybe someone else. But I've been seeing the fight to start round 2 trickling around there. Do you think that there's any? Because if you're talking about a round 2 sub, why not just take the fight to start round 2?
Well, so I
get it. I get it. Well, you can do multiple things.
Yes, well, that's the idea. You can do multiple things.
Fight to start round 2 is plus 180. So say Derek Lewis he wears his turtleneck, knows how to kind of defend for 1 round. But I don't know, man. Sergey Spivak fight, does that make you feel good?
No, it doesn't. And in my mind, because again, is Sergey Spivak like a real heavyweight either? Like, I mean, he's kind of thick, but like, he's not one of the bigger fucking heavyweights in the division.
It's that is true. That is true. I do think Almeida.
No, Almeida is literally a light heavyweight.
Yeah, he's legitimately a light heavyweight. Yeah.
No, absolutely, without a doubt. I just feel like if you're actually trying to handicap this fight, if you're really just trying to squeeze some juice out of this one, if you're coming in down to the night and it's coming down to the last fight, and you're up 3 units, you're up 4 units. Yeah, sure. Why not take a half unit? So you can take a nice, good sweat on this fight to start round 2 and nearly double that. I mean, I think that's totally fair. Because it's going to be sweaty, and I think that there's value. And the reason why I think there's value is he's taken towards the later part of every single round 1. He barely gets Parker Porter. 25 seconds left to go in the round. He gets Turkali with 33 seconds left in the round. He gets Jairzinho with 1 minute and 15 seconds left in the round. And Shamil Abdurakhimov, who we all thought he would just fucking chin immediately, he actually took to round 2. So I do actually think if Derek is willing to stop submissions, or hey, maybe they stare at each other and do nothing, yeah, why not? But dude, is anybody fucking surprised that this fight doesn't start? Somebody gets finished in round 1? No, of course not. Like for example, the Jalton round 1 submission is plus 100, but Jalton round 2 submission is plus 1,000. Okay, so like they really don't think so, and it's worth what we like to call a grandma's couch cushion. You go in there, you dig deep, nothing too
Grandma.
crazy, nothing you're gonna miss, not even lunch money per se. Maybe just the if you're if you're if you're mushroom Philly, it's just you're really just gambling the bag of hot fries, just the little extra on the side. Nothing you're really gonna miss too badly. You still got the chocolate milk, you still got the wings.
You still got like a whole drawer full of other bags of hot fries.
Exactly. Exactly.
To give up like a couple, a little sprinkle of hot fries here. Now that we've driven the analogy far, yeah. I mean, listen, the pick is Jailton Almeida. I'll find a few different props to try to have some fun. And hey, if you guys aren't already, I got to say, Mr. Mushroom MMA, one of the biggest supporters of the MMA community. He became so popular posting his lunches and just being such an awesome supportive guy. Yeah. He's trying to cuck us out.
Bro, I had my coworker asking me, yo, remember you used to show me that guy with his lunches? Whatever happened to him? I'm like, he went OnlyFans with his lunches. He won't let us fucking see him anymore.
That's it.
He went on a diet. I don't know.
Make sure you follow his channel because if anything, this guy spends so much time and energy supporting everyone else in the community. Make sure you support Mushroom MMA. So we will go ahead. We will move on. We're also supporting Jailton Almeida on this podcast. The next fight, we got our welterweight matchup. We have Gabriel Bonf Maheta, the Little Hammer, versus Nicholas Danish Dynamite Doby, one of the heaviest mouth breathers of them all. Wow. But like legitimately though, you watch his fights and he's found this new cardio approach where he just legitimately is like having a seizure on air, hyperventilating.
Yeah, that was weird.
He's been winning decisions. No, he's done it like his last 3 fights, dude. It's an interesting approach. So my question, now this line's gotten out to -625. Like, what the fuck? I had a little parlay. I posted it for you guys last week. It was a 3-legger. Put it back out there in the Twitterverse once again. But the moral of the story is that I got Gabriel Bonfim at like -350 in this parlay. Yeah, wow. It's -625 now. My God, don't do that. Things that I'm finding.
Yeah, I got him at 352.
Yeah, well, that's because you got to do shit early, especially on guys like this. But
I got him heavy. I got him twice and heavy.
Is he gonna find the early finish again?
He kind of.
What happens if not?
He kind of needs to. If not, we're gonna be sitting there going, I can't believe this is happening, because Nicholas Doby is somebody that like I've continuously bet against, and he's kind of continued to win. Like just kind of starting all the way back in 2020 when basically bet gambling was legal for us, and we bet Daniel Rodriguez over him, and he did not beat Daniel Rodriguez. What are you showing me? Oh, your parlay. Very nice. Look at those lines, baby. Really, really fucking crazy. So basically, since betting on Daniel Rodriguez over Dalby, I've not liked Dalby, and it's cost us money. And it's been tough because he's had a lot of close fights, where you could really argue whether he won or not.
All right, let me make an argument, and this is another thing that I put out there before, but when you look at the way that Nicholas Dalby has finished for, it was by the absolutely roided out of his mind Jesse Ronson, and he gets submittalated after getting dropped. You gotta figure Gabriel Bonfim has like better athleticism than a roided out of his mind Jesse Ronson. Right. And who has Nicholas Dalby even really been facing recently?
Nobody. Old men. Claudio Silva.
Yeah.
Who they got rid of. Warley Alves, who you just watched them get rid of last week in Abu Dhabi. They probably left him out in the desert. And then Muslim Salikov, who's a guy that they kind of like, so they'll feed him Andre Fajalio, but that's probably just so they can feed him some young stud next. Like they don't care about him.
No. And it's not like he's like the Kyle Nelson sneaky young for whatever. He's 38 and all of his fights that he's won have even been close and sketchy. Tim Means having success.
Oh my God.
Cardio.
Oh wait, never mind.
What?
Keep going. Never mind.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's terrible. Gabriel Bonfim, I think even if he doesn't get the finish, you watch the takedown that he gets on Trevin Giles, like he's getting pushed against the fence for like half a second, gets his underhooks, turns him out, and just outside trip, not even wasting energy going for the single. I think it's going to be similar. He's just going to do whatever he wants against Doby. He's not in danger of getting knocked out or finished by Doby. So it's just a question of, does Bonfim find the finish or not? I say don't get too cute with it. It might even be interesting to play like the over 1.5 in general here at the plus 105. But I think I'm going to stick with what I had because I beat the line movement. Sorry for line shaming, but do your thing. I mean, do you have a specific prop here that you loved on Bonfim, Guru? Or what were you trying to say before? What were you?
I think I like that. So what I was trying to say before was that they have Muslim Salikov booked on UFC 296 versus Randy Brown. So they're, that's a tough matchup. They're going to point fight with each other, and Randy Brown's going to be longer, younger, and faster.
Okay, so what about this fight, Guru?
So in this fight, I think that Nicholas Doby is going to get finished because you've watched this guy get 3 straight submissions in the UFC, basically 1 in Dana White Contender Series, 2 in the UFC. He's not afraid of big moments. I think that's what they saw, especially after the Trevin Giles win. Because realistically, let's just be honest, Trevin Giles versus Nicholas Dalby is probably more like entertaining and easy when I say entertaining, but like, matchups, I'm not I'm not exactly Cody out here making matches, but I think that's a more fair matchup. So
fair enough. But
I think Bonfim gets it done, and I think he gets it done submission. You should get it done fairly quickly.
Yeah, I like the submission here. Rain Lamina, what's going on, man? Absolutely honored to have one of the Protect Your Neck podcast community members joining the show. Fun pun, man. We appreciate you. Cody, Blood Money MMA. Can't wait to have him on for the pay-per-view next week. Mr. Pay-per-view himself. Really appreciate you tuning in. And Men of the Hour, too sweet to be sour. You know it, baby. Appreciate you, Rain. Hey, and if you guys haven't already, throw a like on the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Costs you nothing. We're so close to 500. It's going to be fantastic. And yeah, I mean, if you're a part of the community, we love you guys because honestly, that's what makes betting on the fight so fun. You get to learn from the people out there like you too. So don't be shy to tell us your best bet in the chat. Here we go. We're moving on. I'm tired of that one. Actually, what I was going to do was get you what the submission prop was for Gabriel Bonfim.
Ooh.
Right? So Gabriel Bonfim by submission is plus 100. So why not?
So that's pretty fire. And then I can't wait until FanDuel drops their stuffs because they're going to drop the grouping props. So I can get a submission round 1, round 2 grouping type deal.
Yep. And make sure you guys are watching the Blood Money MMA show out there as well. Absolutely incredible work week in, week out. And appreciate you, Rain, doing the absolute best. All right. So we got the fight that everyone thought was so amazing the first time out that they just had to go and book it again.
Why? They're literally that means they've spent millions of dollars. These are guys that have booked thousands upon thousands of fights. They're sitting there in the war room. They're looking at the list of heavyweights, and they're like, "Fucking hell, we have no idea what to do with these guys. Let's just have them run it back." Like that's what they did. Or maybe Mays asked for it, but it makes no fucking sense.
He was asking for it.
This makes no sense.
Well, it's
like the Chewbacca defense. It's like the Chewbacca defense. It makes no sense.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. So we got Rodrigo Zelcolmea Nascimento. I didn't do my homework and look up what the fuck Zelcolmea meant. Versus Dontel, Lord Kong, Mays, and Yesek. Well, first Dontel TKO John Jones, took him out of the pay-per-view next week, and can't wait to see what he does against Rodrigo. Will he hump him in the face if he gets him in the north-south position? That's what I really need to know. We needed to get, or maybe Rodrigo gets revenge.
We can only hope.
Yeah, honestly, that's what I'm looking out for. But in this matchup, I mean, Rodrigo, why wouldn't he be able to just do it again? That's my question. And something is sketching me out here. There's typically something that goes different in the rematches from their original fights, unless it's like the Ankalaev versus Cutelaba fight. So in this one, Yeah, exactly. In this one, it was round 2 submission for Nascimento last time out. And I tend to think that like Dontel Mays, I picked Andre Arlovsky against him. Maybe it's because he's my doppelganger, but I just had to do it. And in this fight, I still think that Rodrigo, he has a good enough chin against Dontel Mays to not deal with his biggest issue of getting chinned. And I don't think Dontel has the hand speed or the pressure of like the Chris Dawkins effect, where he was just so fast and actually had good wrestling defense. Like Dontel, I'm going to need to see more than just you ripping John Jones's pec off its bone to know that you're going to stuff the takedowns and have the cardio against a guy that's actually like Nascimento's got some solid hands too. He can come back with some of that boxing, as our buddy Alain Badeau would like to testify. So ultimately, I got Nascimento.
He's not my buddy. He's your buddy.
Yo, buddy, pal. And maybe it's Nascimento by knockout this time. The hands are legit, and if you know, I'm gonna say it's not submission this time.
I'm gonna say not by knockout.
Fair enough. So maybe by decision nation.
I think he submits him again. But to your point, like you already said, and you're stealing from me last week what I took in the Volkanovski Makhachev fight, is that you're right, is that I'm not necessarily convinced that rematch goes the exact same way, because a lot of times rematches do not go the same way. So I'm looking at Bet365 here. We've got Nascimento by submission plus 240. I do really like that prop, especially when he's already done it, and that's really his way to win. Because let's just be real. I mean, I don't want him standing at distance with him, right? Long term,
No.
He's a top control grappler. He's got fairly high consistency with the level he's shooting at. So, you know, you also can have chin issues, as you mentioned, but also cardio concerns, and he's very slow. But the problem is, of course, for Dontel Mays, is that he's literally doesn't have a speed advantage versus anybody. I mean, he's fighting Andre Arlovsky, and they're like, Andre Arlovsky's got the speed advantage here. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's slow.
That's not good. And he doesn't even really have a big reach advantage here. I know he's taller. It's a 1-inch reach advantage. And he's a guy that's shorter is going to be able to get in on the takedowns a little easier. Thank you, Ghost.
Yeah.
Helping me out with my physiology. And he likes me more than Andre Arlovsky, better than a very boring fighter. I love that.
That's a former champ. You better put some respect on his name.
This Mays better have Flexio to cover up all of his holes. That's pretty good.
Wow.
That's it. Billy Mays,
better call Billy Mays, yeah.
James Kendrick, what's going on? One of the biggest news supporters of the show. Absolute G out here. The only betting shows he watches are ours and Dan Tom's. That's because you love dirty jokes and funny humor. So we appreciate you, James. You're a big contributor too. Keep doing your thing,
man.
Everyone in here, you guys are awesome. But ultimately, Dontel Mays is not awesome, and his nickname Lord Kong, absolutely not awesome. Hold on, we're gonna find out what Ze Colmea means in English, so we can share that for you and tell you if it's better than Lord Kong. I'm gonna say like a 90% chance that it's better, like a minus 900. Yogi Bear is Colmea, so maybe it's the bear. Oh, I like that. It sounds cooler than just, yeah. Ze is the. I'll take that. All right, Rodrigo. Good job, buddy. Not the worst. All right. So, all right. We'll stop cheering for nicknames TV style. Let's move on to the next fight. We've got the natural free spirit, Caio Borralho. Shout out to his neck tattoo. Super free spirit.
When are you getting one of those?
Soon. This neck is almost ready. Super pale. Versus Abus Homo Sapien Magomedov. You have to know his full name is his full name is Abu Sapien. So I'm saying Abus Homo Sapien Magomedov.
Definitely not how it's pronounced.
Sure it is.
Are you sure?
Why not? I don't know.
Why not?
Great question. It's listed Abus Magomedov on UFC stats, so you're really gonna have to dig
Abasupian.
I'm sorry, Abba Homo Sapien Magomedov. Or is he a marsupial? Abus the
Nah,
marsupial
marsupials
Magomedov.
are cool and they have those pouches. Nah.
He doesn't have a pouch. Damn. All right. So Kaio minus 305, Magomedov at plus 245. So where I beat line movement last time, might have kind of fucked it up this time, but it's okay. Kyle Bahayo is a piece of the parlay with me in the sketchy parlay that we have going on here. The first leg, as you remember, Gabriel Bonfim. Second leg, Kaio Bahayo. Listen, if Abus Magomedov had 2 rounds of cardio and heart, I might be willing to consider it. But he's not just going to be able to easily wrestle and sit on top. And I think his power, front kicks, it's going to leave him in positions where Kaio is going to be able to shoot his patented singles and blast doubles. Kaio is super intelligent. I think he can mess around on the feet a little bit too much sometimes, but he is mostly safe with his footwork. It's just when guys have a speed advantage, they can catch him. He's shown to have a good chin. His only loss ever coming by decision. I just don't envision the Homo sapien actually coming out here and being able to win a decision.
They're literally both Homo sapiens.
Well, no, one's the natural free spirit. That's different, man. So I don't know. Maybe he's a Neanderthal. You never know. But Kaio Bahayo, I really just think his jiu-jitsu and top control and ability to do it over 3 rounds is going to be too much for a guy that is probably just going to want to take his show money and get out of there once the going gets hot. Down in Brazil, chance founding, you're going to die. Pressure's still on. You're still on the main card. Abus, I don't get the huge jump. And the reason why Kaio got this fight specifically, if you remember, was when Abus got the main event versus Sean Strickland. Kaio was calling out saying, like, what has he done to deserve getting this placement and this fight? And they're like, all right, Kaio. All right, Kaio, guess what? You get the opportunity to beat this guy and make a name, take the ranking, and
does he even have a ranking?
I don't even fucking know, but he fought Sean Strickland, whatever.
They probably did rank him just for that.
He gets to fight a guy on a main card in his home country that just lost in a main event spot that he didn't deserve. This is to kind of propel Kaio to like a fight night main event spot in his next fight, I'd imagine. Like co-main or main. That's my prediction when Kaio Bahayo goes out here, wins by either round 2, round 3 submission.
Yeah, very, very interesting. I have a hard time disagreeing with any of it, to be quite honest. Abus is going to be live in round 1, so you could really look at that round 1 KO prop on Abus. Kaio tends to, back up with his chin in the air, and he does benefit from the bigger cage, which is an interesting idea. He can be pushed up against the cage, obviously, which is not ideal, but not going to be a factor in this fight. Abus is the kickboxer going to come out heavy. If Kaio stays at distance with him too long, I'm not going to be thrilled. So I expect him to spam takedowns, hold him up against the cage, take him down. No, you don't expect that?
No, just the lowest T energy from you right now. Pick it up, dog.
Oh, my bad, bro. Yeah,
so let's get it popping, baby.
My bad. I got a little, I got a little bit going on.
You're like, I guess he's gonna push him up against a cage. I guess he's gonna do this. No, the fucking say it with your heart. Then he's gonna do it.
All right, you're right. No, he's taking him down. He's gonna kick his ass. So that's basically how legit. Like
I can go. Kaio, it's gonna be sketchy as hell in the first round. In fact, when Kaio drops down to like a minus 150, minus whatever favorite after the first round, when Abus has his, because like shout out to Ghost, because the question is, did Abus get a treadmill at his gym? Because the bus has no gas. I love that. Good pun. Fantastic. Absolutely. And Rain, this is a great betting strategy. Just women's MMA fights going to decision and parlay all Bellator favorites. I mean, what else do you need to do? But yeah, ultimately it's Kaio Bahayo, round 2, round 3, submission prop, round 2, round 3, and Kaio Bahayo is the second leg of my parlay. So we're gonna keep on sliding along.
Yeah, I don't see Abus stuffing takedowns well, and the cardio thing is the main issue. Abus is gonna be live round 1, and once his cardio breaks, Kaio's been shown to break everybody with his cardio, and that's going to be a major factor here.
Huge factor. what would also be a huge factor, I know there's more people in this video right now than have liked the show already. So do
Wow,
the
that's
right
fucked
thing.
up.
Throw a like on the video. It's really fucked up. You guys haven't done the right thing so far. But
Damn.
yeah, and subscribe if you haven't, you know. I mean, we're a good time.
Do the right thing.
Yeah, do the right thing. So yeah, can't wait till next week's UFC pre-show. Yep. James, big supporter of all the shows out there. And yeah, Blood Money always has a great pre-show for the fights on the weekends. Check that out. And
I'm
yeah,
hoping to be in
Kyle's
attendance.
yeah,
Hoping.
Kyle's hoping. Kyle's on a
Hoping.
nice win streak. Let's keep it rolling. So in our next fight, we got Hodolfo, the black belt hunter Vieira, versus, it wasn't official nicknames, so I didn't put it, versus Arman Superman Petrosian. I think this is at the makings of a decent round one, because I think Rodolfo Vieira is going to have all the opportunities in the world to land a blast double leg and get top control and take the back and get in advantageous positions and hunt for submissions. I think he's going to have the opportunity. I really do. There's two specific chokes that I envision for Rodolfo Vieira winning this fight specifically, or he loses the fight. It's Rodolfo Vieira rear naked choke, or Arman turning out of mount from the rear naked choke, trying to turn to mount, or vice versa, and getting arm triangled by the super strong and explosive Vieira. So Arman Petrosian has shown me enough of, you know, what I need to see to know that he has submission defense. He's been in there 15 with Kaio. He survived the Gregory Rodriguez onslaught for one round. Both of those guys are high-level black belts. And Rodolfo Vieira is like the highest of level black belts, and you could see it in the way he does it, but I don't necessarily say that like he's the best UFC finisher out there. I really don't. Like it's a different game without the gi, and I think his overall wrestling and MMA skills just aren't on the same level as his jiu-jitsu skills. But he has a chance round one, and then that's where it gets interesting. Rodolfo Vieira, shitty cardio. That's not changing. And if he gets stuffed, and if Arman is standing up like he generally does, then Rodolfo is going to be struggling. So Arman Petrosian going to take over round 2, round 3, and Guru, tell the people the prop that they need to be playing, because I got Arman Petrosian money line. I fucked up. I played minus 125, but I'm going to put more on minus 110. Or if it gets the plus money, hell yeah, let's go. It's going to be in Brazil. I know that, but man, if you're playing Rodolfo, just do the round 1 sub, or round 1, round 2 sub, because otherwise he's not winning this fight to me. No. I don't see him winning 2 rounds. But go ahead, Guru.
Yeah, I do see his cardio falling off a cliff at some point, and you've seen that through his fights, but it's possible that it's a little overstated, the cardio falling off, and here's why. You've watched just the fight before the Cody Brundage fight that he won, 2022. He goes in April there. He goes the distance with Chris Curtis. Chris Curtis is a guy with finishing ability and cardio and doesn't finish him. So I actually think that it's very possible that a guy like Arman Petrosian is able to get out of a few. Either maybe he loses round 1 while he's getting in some troublesome positions, but Arman's somebody that will give up takedowns, but he gets up pretty well. So it's going to be, obviously, like TV said, staying safe while getting up and continuing to get up. And that will wear on Rodolfo Vieira. He does not have the cardio to keep that going. And especially if he misses and gets hurt in the interim, it's not going to go well for him as the fight goes on. So on Bet365, I was able to sniff out a little something crazy.
Ooh.
Arman Petrosian is a guy that so far in all 4 of his UFC fights, this is now UFC fight number 5, not including Dana White Contender Series, he's been to decision. Arman Petrosian by decision is plus 700 on Bet365. That line is insane. He's 3-1 in the UFC. The only loss is to Kyle Bahayo, who continued to wrestle him, continued to have incredible top control, and was unable to submit him as much as he continued to try.
What did you think about, what was it, round 3 in that fight? What did you think about that?
What specifically?
I mean, did you think that Petrosian might have won that round?
It was damn close, no?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was on the scorecards. I'm actually going to look that up, but that was something I found interesting because that was another thing that played into my like. He has defensive wrestling cardio. Um, you know, that was my
Absolutely.
thought.
And he showed that. AJ Dobson is not as a guy that's not exactly a bad wrestler. And Gregory Rodriguez, sure, he's a knockout artist, but we all know that he can fucking grapple.
Yeah.
So like that's why we all picked him in his last fight, right? We was like, okay, he's finally gonna fucking choke him out this time. So
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, ultimately, I think that there's value to be had on that prop like crazy. I couldn't believe the price when you told me because
yeah.
that's how Armin wins his fights, right? And he's got solid power, but it's more like his kicks and working to the body. So I guess that could work into Vieira's, cardio and stuff.
And just
But
look at
I don't
the
envision
over
things.
two. Just look at over 2.5 at plus 130. There's just this narrative that Rodolfo's either getting the finish or he's falling off a cliff and unable to finish the fight. And that's not true. If
Hmm.
Armin lets him hang around by, basically spar kickboxing with him and just damaging him enough to A, keep him off of him, and B, still keep him in the fight, you're going to watch him point him out to a decision. Chris Curtis did it. So
Yeah.
I think that there might just be even value on an over 2.5 fight to start round 3. Like there might be value to be found there, honestly, as well.
Okay, Skeeta.
So
Okay,
keep all those things in mind, everybody, when your books open up.
Love it. Yeah, maybe the round 3 decision Petrosian, maybe
And of
maybe
course,
the round 1-2 sub for Vieira as the options. It's
right?
a closely
Yes,
lined fight. You can
yeah.
get value on those props. You're not trying to find props on a minus 500. So if you got a good idea on either side, and it's the plus 700 for decision Petrosian. And do we have any numbers on like the round props at all yet for those guys? Like, do we have a Vieira Petrosian line that we can share on like a round 1 or a round 2 sub? Because I'm looking now, fight parlays. Round 1 sub is plus 350. Round 2 sub is plus 650. So once we get and round 1 or 2 is plus 175 for Vieira. So if anything, that's kind of what I'm looking at.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And yeah, Shady, I completely agree, man. It's I played Petrosian too early. I thought the line was going to minus 135. But here we are at even money and sliding. So keep being patient. Wait for the face-offs. Vietta's going to look fucking steroided out of his mind. And Petrosian's got little T-Rex arms, but he's taller and he uses them fucking kicks. So I like Petrosian, man. Let's go.
Yeah. Agreed.
So we already talked about it. If you guys haven't done so, you're still messing up, but just do the right thing. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, guys. We really, really appreciate all the support. We do this not for our health, if anything, actually to the detriment of, but we do it, we do it for you, we do it for the community, we do it for y'all,
No,
we
of
do it
course.
because it's fun, we do it because we love this sport. And we appreciate any support that we get. So
Yeah.
that climb to 500 is real.
It's for real. What is also for real is we got Ismael Bonfim Maheta. The interesting thing, Ismael Bonfim, I guess he's older than Gabriel. Is that the truth? Can we get a fact check on that? We got
You can just scroll 27
versus what?
26. So
Jeez.
1 year old.
So we got Mahetinho, which means little hammer, and then Ismael Bonfim is the hammer, Maheta. But he's actually shorter and smaller and the worst Bonfim. Gabriel is by far the better Bonfim. So now, all right, now that I've fully slandered this guy, we've got Ismael.
That's funny. That's interesting that's at least noteworthy.
Yeah, it's funny that Mahetinho is better than Maheta based on the verbiage. And then Vince from hell, Pichel. He's probably getting sent to hell a little sooner than later at this stage of his life. I mean, he's probably on the listen. Is he making it to 80 years old as an MMA fighter whose nickname is from
you
hell?
Just said he's going to hell.
Yeah, bro. He's from hell. He's going back there, bro. Like, what the fuck do you expect? I'm like, what do you think I am?
Yeah, that's fucked up.
So we got the big shitty hammer versus the guy from hell. And quite frankly,
big shitty hammer.
the little big shitty hammer, Ismael Bonfim.
He's not that shitty.
He's a quitter. He what 4 submission losses?
Well, that's his kryptonite.
Right.
Obviously, is
Okay. But
getting
now,
choked out and getting tired and then getting choked out.
do they
That
teach BJJ in hell? That's the question.
no,
Uh,
he has no submission wins on his career and one submission loss. No, they do not. They do not teach jujitsu in hell.
yeah, so it's not ideal. And listen, I fucking took Vince Pichel. Oh, yo, Rain, you're the man. You got to get the rest of the guys on board for this show because we are great fun. That is what we like to do. Thank you. We do like to have a good time, and we get our picks right every once in a while, right? But Maheta here, he's probably good against the hell, man. He's got much better striking on the feet. He's not going to be eating 30 body kicks per 20 seconds like in
that was the big thing that I really wanted to touch on in this fight is that people, he was obviously lined wrong against Benoit Saint Denis, but that dude's fucking crazy. And he's very willing to swing heavy. And like you're just saying, the body kicks were so devastating and he's calling them on. Vince Michel has absolutely like none, like I mean, what 4% of that, like none of it. He has none of that lethalness on the feet at all. Just simply that he's gonna have 4-ounce gloves on. But I don't think he punches very hard. He doesn't even really strike very much. He's a grapple heavy guy.
Yeah, and I gotta say, like watching the Bonf and Saint Denis fight back, like it is legitimately terrifying to be on the other side of the octagon from Benoit Saint Denis. Like I've never seen like a scarier dude from like the way he just absolutely rips body kicks, but it wasn't even
That's why I like Zavala.
it wasn't even the way that he just throws the body kicks to hurt the body. He's like, yeah, he's a really good boxer, and I just wanted to hurt his arms. Like that's really smart of Benoit Saint Denis. Anyways, Vince Pichel,
Yeah.
like his literal only path, thank you, Shady, is lay and pray. Like, is it worth the dog shot against a guy in Bonfim that we've seen like taken down, controlled, tapped out, yada? It might be, but my official pick for the fight is Ismail Bonfim. I don't think I get there on the dog shot. Shady, I appreciate you for taking it, but I can also tell you that the shitty, smaller hammer is not in my parlay. So I'll be looking for a prop of
Yeah,
some
he's
sort.
certainly not in the main parlay. We can have levels to the parlay, and he's certainly not in that main level. Uh, you know, Vince, like we're saying, is low output on the feet. It's one strike at a time. He's gonna struggle to put it together even long term, which is where his survivability is best, right? If he's able to weather the storm, this early storm of Ishmael, the fight becomes more interesting. I just still don't think that, like, yeah, you need him to lay it. You to lay it, like you guys are saying. It's lay and pray. It's him weathering the storm, losing round one, and then laying praying to a win round 2 and 3.
So
So
does Vince get finished? Is my only question.
what I would say is that if he's not finished after round 1, I think you think about a live betting opportunity on Vince. Vince will be down fucking plus 600 after if he's getting smoked round. I mean, he's already, you know, plus 400. So he'll be even steeper if he gets smoked round 1.
I agree. James, are we a fan of parlays? Mike's MMA picks hates them if you know who that is. I personally have been trying to do less of them, but I'm also realizing like I don't have the largest bankroll personally. So even though I want to lay juice on some of these, like we'll get to, I think what the next fight maybe is the one that I'm thinking about or something like that or coming up. But um, there's another spot where I like want to just lay people straight, but I don't have the bankroll. So I still use parlays. I probably would be better off not doing so in the long run, but
I
that's
love
also the
I,
fun
I
part.
love
It's
I love parlays. I love when parlays are correlated and you think you still can find value. I specifically think about that a lot with NFL,
yeah.
parlaying certain things together.
Mm.
But here in the UFC, yeah, a parlay is as simple as, but TB, when you really think about it, a parlay is as simple as betting is a prop. I mean, obviously we define it as something different, but it's essentially a parlay. You're
That's interesting.
parlaying it, you're parlaying an outcome. It's two things that have to happen.
Yeah, the person has to win and by a specific method or this or that. That's a good shot. That's a good idea. I like that. All right.
So parlays are awesome.
Make sure you're getting your value, people. That's the real thing. On to our next fight. We've got Rinat Gladiator Fakhretdinov versus Eliseu Capoeira Zaleski dos Santos.
That was good.
Oh man, that was a fucking mouthful. All right.
I'll give you a mouthful.
Jesus Christ. Minus 360 on Rinat.
He's not
plus 285 on Dos Santos. I was heavily considering Zaleski dos Santos, Mr. Capoeira himself. I was gibberating all over the place. But I just ultimately I go and I turn on the Abus Magomedov fight for Zaleski last time. And I think the game plan that he used in that fight is going to lead to absolute failure and a decision loss in this fight. I'm not sure Rinat finishes him, but also seeing Abus Magomedov land a right hand that lands like behind the ear of Dos Santos and kind of wobbles him, and then Dos Santos is covering up, and then Abus is in, and he's trying to shoot takedowns, but like Rinat's going to be a little bit bigger than Abus than
you said you said Abus a bunch.
Abubakar Nurmagomedov, or who?
Yeah,
was
you said Abus a million times.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean Abus. I mean Abu. My bad.
It's Abubakar Nurmagomedov for anybody confused.
Sorry. Yes, I'm sorry for the confusion. My apologies. I did that.
You did do that.
So maybe I should just call him. Maybe I should have called Abubakar Manap like DC does.
Yes.
Okay, so against Manap. Fucking Dos Santos just didn't look like he had the juice anymore. He's obviously still on the juice. He just didn't look like he really had the juice anymore.
He's lacking some of the extra juice.
He slows down. He's lacking the extra juicy juice. Fruit punch flavor was one of the classics of this household growing up. Juicy juice. Arthur on the can. Just saying. Big stuff. Damn, that's a throwback.
Wait, you had the cans?
You would get cans, juice boxes, them motherfuckers.
Cans of juicy juice? Now that's ghetto.
Dude, do you not realize how I grew up?
I'm learning more and more. Cans of juicy juice. I got Capri Suns.
Damn, son. No, I'm talking about like them fucking big cans before they did plastic bottles.
Oh, you're old though.
Yeah, I'm old as fuck. So next up, it's just Rinat, and he's probably going to win by decision. Zaleski has a very good guard. He's very good defensively, but I don't love his cardio. So maybe Rinat and over 1.5 would be kind of my thought. And I'm ultimately picking Rinat. And you know what? I'm getting shit on Twitter for saying I want to fade this guy. And you know what? I'm trying to fade him too soon. But like against the Shavkats, against like even the Jeff Neals, like
against the Shavkats, who are you picking? Who are you fading Shavkat against?
Leon Edward. Like I'm saying, like against like the top parts of the division, I still think that they hold up.
That's like really high level, bro.
I know, and you know what? That's my fault because I'm turning into a hater, but way too early. So
like, yeah, and again, like, what's there to even hate? Like the dude is pretty fucking solid. Yeah, I mean, he can leave his chin up there.
I think he doesn't pass guard so well. I think he's not like the best finisher from what I've seen.
Yeah, he kind of likes to keep it safe.
Yeah, I think that, like he's gotten the finishes on the regional scene, but I don't think it's going to like speak to as much.
And he fought cans. Did you see his record? It's cans.
I know. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to take Dos Santos. I just couldn't do it. There's no way. I'm picking Rinat and dominant decision or like round 3 finish.
The way that Zaleski gets controlled, and I'm telling you, he does not beat Abubakar Nurmagomedov. In my opinion, Nurmagomedov wins rounds 1 and 2. Yeah, close fight, whatever. But I just think that Rinat is so much better than Manap, Abubakar. And I think that's just going to lead to success. Can't have every single Brazilian on the card win. So I think Rinat here spoils the party. The bookmakers agree. The way that he wins is how he's gonna have to. So he's gonna have to. I don't know. Outpoint him or somehow crazy finish him with a knockout, like summon back the olden days. Summon back. When was his last good win? He knocked out Sean Strickland. That, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, that's what we're talking about. He choked out Curtis Melender. Oh, yeah, I guess his flying knee and punches against Luigi Vendramini. Like, that's not good.
I'm trying to find something.
Luigi Vendramini fought Paddy Pimblett, didn't he? And that's lightweight.
Yeah, pretty bad. Yeah, he
So,
fought him on short notice, like the week of.
yeah.
Up a weight class.
And he killed him.
It was really bad.
So that was his last one, and that's 6 years ago. So that stuff's over.
So last week,
Capoeira doesn't go well at 36. Yeah, what's up, buddy?
So last week it was Muhammad Yahya, the hometown guy that it was destined to lose. The week before that, it was someone else too. Like there was someone that was from like the place where they were fighting, and
they do that shit all the time. It's a way to build up a crowd, fan base. You take a hometown fighter from that town that's going to sell tickets. Okay, wow, we know that guy. We're rooting him. Okay, then you watch him lose. Oh shit, who is that guy? Then you take note of this guy now. That's how that works. It's think from the eyes of a promoter. You're trying to get eyes on people. You're trying to promote.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't.
That doesn't always go their way, obviously.
That's absolutely fair. All right, we're moving on. We've got Victor Striker Hugo, Danielle Soncora, Marcos. Don't know what Soncora means. We're about to find out. But ultimately, I mean, like minus 245 on Marcos here. He did face Davey Grant in his debut, which is kind of crazy. Thought he lost the fight.
Close. Very close. Very close, especially based on damage and total strikes and stuff like that. Like it's one of those ones where I really just don't necessarily envy the judges, just because Davey Grant's a little bit busier. So, I mean, he wins round one in my opinion. He wins round one in my opinion, and only one judge gives him round one. The other two judges give it to Marcos. So it's just like they just didn't see it. They're just giving, harder strikes. Or they like something. And you can't even say like they're biased because it's taking place in London and Davey Grant's from London and then not giving it to him. It was wild.
So is Daniel Marcos, he's from Peru. Soncora. I can't find what that means. Anyways, ultimately I think you're right overall. But Victor Hugo Striker, man, contender series, he's solid. He's solid. I don't love his striking style. I think defensively leaves himself open for way too much. Interestingly enough, throwing like the spinning kick, he gets his back taken early, but then parlays it into his own advantageous position. I think Daniel Marcos is not stupid enough to play around in like those grappling situations with him. I think he's really just looking to point fight, leg kick, move around outside and have success that way. I think Marcos has success that way. I think Marcos is going to be the clearly better striker on the feet. I think he's going to have the defensive chops to keep it standing and the footwork to do so in a larger cage. I think Hugo is going to kind of look like Claudio Puelles at times. It's going to be disgusting. And I don't want to play Marcos minus 245. I'll also clarify that. I would lean towards, like, I almost want to lean towards an over, but then, like, you see Victor Hugo, he's got 3 out of his 4 losses are by finish. But the fight's at bantamweight. And Marcos has 7 decision wins. I really think he just leg kicks the shit out of him.
I kind of like what's the line on the over? Yeah, I like the fight to start round 3 at probably like a minus 130 type of line, and over 2.5 at plus money. I like as well. I think that's an interesting point because you've got the undefeated prospect and I mean not really at 30 years old in Daniel Marcos, who again obviously hasn't lost, hasn't been finished, and you've got Victor Hugo, who is this well-seasoned vet, fought all over the world, but not really anywhere notable, gets this opportunity in the UFC through Dana White Contender Series, wins with a the knee, wins with that crazy knee bar, but I mean I just don't really give that much. I don't know. Were you impressed by the knee bar? I guess I was impressed that, like, I don't know. I just didn't. The guy's defense didn't. It didn't.
No.
I wasn't very impressed. I don't know why I wasn't impressed by it. It's obviously cool to nail a knee bar, but I wasn't very impressed by it, simply put. So I'm not. If I'm doing a PRP, one of those line parlays, maybe TV can explain that a little bit better. I'm not putting Marcos very high up on there.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
But
he's
I am
definitely.
putting it. But he's on there.
Yeah,
So,
and he's the pick for sure. For
yeah.
sure. All right. Easy enough.
Yeah. Why? Wait. Can we? Why is Victor Hugo striker if he's like really like super not?
Is it like one of those jokes or
He's got 12 round one finishes, 9 subs, 8 KOs, but it's just like it's just not really part of his game. Not that what I saw. Like he's not really like some big power puncher. He's like a strong, powerful guy, but
yeah,
it's more ground and pound.
That's fair. All right. Yeah, that's not enough money on plus money on Hugo at all, Reg.
Now
Totally
talk
agree.
about a guy that'd be very high up on the PRP list.
Oh, baby. We got Vitor Salvo y Cao Petrino, also known as Bobby Petrino.
Also
versus
known as Bobby Bacala.
Bobby versus Modestus Bukowskis, the Baltic Gladiator. It's disgusting. Vitor Petrino should absolutely chin this guy. And if not, he's just going to take him down and sit on top until he submittalates him. Quite frankly, Vitor Petrino it's one of those matchups where it's just a complete athletic disadvantage for Bukowskis. And Petrino has shown us to have the 3-round cardio to do what he needs to do. And Bukowskis has, I'm sorry, eight knockout wins on his record, because watching him fight, you wouldn't think it. It's terrible. It's boring. It's point fighting on the outside. Paunga probably won their last fight that they had against Modestus Bukowskis.
I thought he definitely won.
Yeah,
I was betting him live. I absolutely thought he lost to Paunga.
I'm doing the shady beach bum parlay because I need more money on Bobby Petrino. Minus 230 is way too low, and I don't have enough bankroll to just lay him straight and make enough money off of it. So I'll do Petrino, and you know what? YOLO. I'll do it with Renat. Okay, Renat and Bobby. Let's go have a good time. The Gladiator and the Salvo. You might as well have another parlay on this, card of potential chalk. If you're talking about guys that are going to make it look easy, those are probably the ones. So, Guru, do you have substantive props or information to add here?
Listen, man, you continue to just like steal all the thunder. You're fantastic at breaking down these fights, man.
Christ, I'll let you jubilate first next time.
No, cool.
No. I mean that in a nice way, though.
No, listen,
I do go
get
for
it. No, you do it well, man. And then I kind of pick up the pieces, and if I disagree, I got plenty to say otherwise.
Let the rain fall down.
Petrino really is sharper everywhere. He's better on the feet. He's quicker. You see Petrino. He's patient. He's got the good pressure, man. Good jab. Very willing to stand in the pocket and bang as well. And I think that type of power is going to give Modestus nightmares, as you saw in the Khalil Roundtree fight where he's running away. Modestus is kind of explosive in his own right, but there's just not really anything there. He lacks urgency, and you've seen him get choked out. You've seen him get knocked out. It's not good. So, yeah, I really like Petrino here. It's really any way that he wants. He's shown a propensity to stay safe so far in the UFC, as you've seen, getting a round 3 submission over Marcin Prachnio when he could have finished it at any single point. And then obviously the decision versus Turkali. So, yeah, I definitely think this fight takes some time. Over 2.5 plus 105. I don't know. You could have my attention if I decide that Petrino's not getting a finish, but
could have some attention.
It definitely has my attention, because I don't know that. Are we sure Petrino submits him? I guess that's like an interesting thought, like a round 3 submission, like dart throw. But otherwise, like he has 6 KO wins, 1 submission. It's not really what he does.
No, I mean it's the first one he got was in his last fight. So
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get cute again with that. I really just think you need to lay as much money possible on Vitor Petrino.
Yeah, he's pretty safe.
I don't know. That's it. I just don't see it happening another way. Getting
Top line of the parlay.
shady. I'm getting -120 on DraftKings on the parlay, and let's see what I can get on Bet365. Gonna get after this action real quick, live on show. Gonna see where the best line is because Guru taught me you always got to shop for the best
Yeah, but you're not
lines.
even shopping at the other books that you have, so we're not gonna go there.
I'm not. Listen, dog. When you can't, you know, life
blah.
is gonna happen when life happens. Having 2 outs is plenty.
No, it's not.
There are people that literally just bet online.
Well, they're dumb. Or they're degenerates. Bet online only. Like that means you like when are you withdrawing your money through your crypto? Like who even like what?
Yeah, very weird. Ultimately Renat and Bobby getting -118 still on Bet365. So we'll have some fun. All right. Let's keep this train rolling here.
Keep it rolling.
Overkill. Angela Hill, aka Angie, versus Denise D. Gomes. Gomes. I think it's Gomes. Terrible nickname.
Dyed her hair blonde. So that's scary.
Not a representative picture of D. Gomes. 23 years old, coming into the UFC. Decisionated by the well-known wrestler Loma Lookboonmee. Goes ahead, gets 2 absolutely flash knockouts. Bruno Brazil scared on the stage. Yasmin Jauregui.
That was nuts. Bad weight
cut. And we saw that.
Yeah.
At the weigh-in, we were like, "Oh damn! What if Jauregui isn't good to go?" So then Jauregui, you got to get in a good Jauregui whenever you can. But Angela Overkill Hill +114. What is going on?
I got +120.
Or maybe it was no, I think it was +104 right now. I might have fucked that up.
You always do.
I always do. But Angela Hill, I don't understand it. Mackenzie Dern knows to have some power in her hands, elite jiu-jitsu, and just like overwhelming, running forward into your face the whole time.
And a 5-round fight.
5-round cardio. Angela Hill, anytime she faces these young up-and-comers, she gives them a good old vet lesson. And I think we're due for one. Denise Gomes.
I guess the idea, the argument for Denise Gomes would be, right, that if you're getting rocked by Mackenzie Dern, who's not necessarily known for her striking, and you are fighting Denise Gomes, who's rocking people left and right, maybe it's time to get chin checked.
So can I make an argument? So does Gomes have the Lemos KO power? There is a legitimate chance, but can we also talk about how the fact that Lemos didn't even KO Angela Hill and arguably didn't even win the fight against Angela Hill? Round 2 and 3 could easily go to Hill depending on the scorecard.
That was a long time.
So no, in my opinion, no. Gomes doesn't have enough KO power. Okay, maybe she has Lemos KO power. She doesn't have enough KO power to knock out Angela Hill. And may I make another argument about the knockdown of Mackenzie Dern?
Sure.
Angela Hill is worried about the wrestling and the jiu-jitsu. So she's on the back foot, not expecting the big strikes because she's worried about the jiu-jitsu. Denise Gomes doesn't really have good offensive wrestling. She has I'm going to roll for leg locks. I'm going to go for crazy shit. But if you're Loma Lookboonmee, you sit there on all fours oh, fuck, she has my leg. What do I do? But even if you're Loma Lookboonmee before she was training heavy with the Hickman Bros, then you could probably even survive those submission attempts. Angie Hill, I know she's lost by submission before, but if she just survived those positions against Mackenzie Dern, she's not getting submitted by Denise Gomes. She's never been knocked out. She's not getting knocked out by Denise Gomes. What gets me worried is that Angela Hill is 10-11 in her decision fights. So no matter what, it's going to be sketchy as hell if Angela Hill goes to decision here. But I think she makes it clear. I think it's going to look like Ducote. I think it's going to look like Loopy. She can land a heavy amount of volume in a clear fashion, even if she's not landing the biggest of shots. I think that she's got, the right game to stifle D. Gomes. And I don't think she even looked washed against Mackenzie Dern. I just think she didn't have the best fight. I think Dern is a really great athlete, tough opponent. Give me Angela Hill. I mean, oh, she's got blonde hair. She dyed her hair. She cut her hair. Oh no, didn't you see? Enough of that. Appreciate you guys. Shady. That's right. Seasoned veteran versus the chicks with dicks. I love that. Show earlier touched on the fact that Hill is the most loss of any woman in UFC history. She's due for a win. Gomez, resume versus cons. Hill's fought everyone. Absolutely agreed. She's not getting finished. Does Lemos actually have knockout power? Weili ate clean shots from her and just brushed it off like broccoli she didn't order. I would enjoy some broccoli right about now. And yeah, that is Weili. Loma Lukbumi could also beat me up. I would appreciate that.
What?
No, I'm saying like she would beat up any of us. Like I can appreciate that take. Like,
okay.
No. I didn't mean it like that. My God. No, Loma's looks like a 15-year-old boy. And then Lukbumi was
I know that's exactly what you like.
Jesus Christ. Loma Lukbumi was training against Weili, so there was that going against Gomes. Yeah. Y'all can have Hill, a 500 fighter. I don't care for them. Yes, but I'm getting the 500 fighter at plus money over the long term. That cash is for you. Got to take the shot here. I think she's due for it in this spot against this opponent. So not that she's just due because she alternates wins and losses, but like I really think that this is the right spot for her to get another dominant decision win. Next fight, we got Eduarda Rondamora versus Montserrat Conejo. I will follow you home, bitch, Ruiz. Oopsies, that was her opponent. But
that was funny.
Eduarda Mora Ronda. I mean, does it get any lazier than that? You got to do better. It's terrible. Also, jiu-jitsu, I don't know. Like, can you choose someone else? But Eduarda Mora, 29 years old, 6-inch height advantage, 6-inch reach advantage. I don't think she finishes Conejo early. Like when you look like the face-off for her versus
you're not finishing early.
Like the tapology, like the showdown of Eduarda Mora versus whoever she fought on Contender Series. Like that girl legitimately got taken out of the dumpster and got brought into the fight. I mean, she legitimately looked like she ate Fritos and Cheetos for an entire week before weighing in. Was not an athlete of any measure. Eduarda Mora is a legitimate athlete, huge, strong, top control, willing to just go for the finish when she gets there. And it could work in her favor here. It could work against her. I could see a sketchy round 3 in this spot where like, oh no, I've only been to decision one time. And like, I can't get this little rabbit out of here. This is really annoying. Like, why is a strawweight matchup plus money to go the distance?
Yeah, Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, this little rabbit. Conejo's been knocked out twice. One time was by Amanda Lemos. And then the other time she's like getting dominated by Amarim. And that happened late in the fight, like end of round 3.
Well, that's the thing. It can very, very well happen.
So take the over 2.5 at plus 124.
I'm not guaranteed. You're sure that the finish is, I'm not sure that it's going that deep. She could get the ground and pound and she could get it earlier. And here's why. If Amarim is ground and pounding you, who's not known for getting knockouts or ground and pound, Ronda here, who basically did get a ground and pound win on her debut. She ground and pounded until she opened up that rear naked. She threw over 30 ground and pound strikes in that Dana White Contender Series fight. It's very possible she opens that up sooner. But the thing is that Ruiz is dating the Spanish broadcaster who's like a fucking huge black belt and for the UFC, Spanish broadcaster for the UFC, sick black belt. And that's why she was able to defend all those chokes versus Amarin and how she was able to somehow get out of that armbar. But it's also could be arguable that Mora is a better finisher than Amarim. So
here's what I'll say is I think she's more physical. I think she's more physical, and I think she's more physical and she's bigger. I think she has worse jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
She's like less overall experience. She hasn't been in fighting even that long. But no. I think she does get the win here, and I don't think she has this. She doesn't really have a clean striking game. It's more just like overpowering her opponents, getting trips, getting takedowns, working the top control, looking for submissions. Brazilian Ronda. Yeah, I mean, 5 foot even. It could be hard to like initially get her down, but like, how's Conejo's gonna scramble out of this shit?
Huge. Look at that. Look
Yeah.
at those advantages.
She's huge. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm not too confident on like, but quite frankly, minus 550 in this fight, disgusting. The only thing that I'm like curious about is if it goes over, but then I'm like,
I like
well,
over 1.5, not over 2.5.
yeah, it's not enough. I'll probably do the right thing, pick Mora and pass.
That's not the right thing. You got to parlay and lay some crazy juice. No, I'm just kidding. Be smart.
We got Cowie.
I really like the PRP again for this card. This is one of those cards you could really do it for.
I like that. Do we consider Conejo a bum since she lost to Lemos? No, she's not. I just think it's bad from she should probably be fighting at like 105 standpoint or not against high level or gigantic competitor. Like, I just think it's a bad matchup for someone that likes to overpower people.
You got to give her somebody that can't stuff any takedowns at all and is going to be willing to get into a brawl with her.
Cheyenne, where are you at, Cheyenne? We need
I'll
you
follow
back.
you home, bitch.
We got Maui Cowie Fernandez versus the Bone Crusher.
Well, this is the opener. So should we do the fight that we skipped before this one?
Well, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so Elvis Brenner Oliveira and Kanan Krzyzewski Bachia. I mean, what the fuck, man? So Esteban Hibovic, who I was considering a dog shot on, drops out. No. Now we get Kanan Krzyzewski plus 140. Elvis Brenner minus 170. My thing with Elvis Brenner is he never really looks like he's winning until he wins. So he's going to be like, I don't know enough about Krzyzewski on this short notice, given I got home from work and walking the dog like maybe 20 minutes before we started the show today. So I'll pass to Guru. Go ahead.
My Tapology wasn't loading. Krzyzewski is somebody who I felt that he's got interesting combos. He's got that nice step in jab, nice elbow on the break. He's a bit of a headhunter, which you saw in his Dana White Contender Series fight, which honestly just happened very, very recently. Not like super, super recently, but what was he? He was week 7. So that was literally in September. So it's just a month ago, literally last month. So very, very much short notice. Oh, I guess 2 months ago. So yeah, I mean, he fought the Dylan Mantello, who trains out of Serra Longo. So I remember a lot of people were picking him, but I mean, he choked him out really quickly, which I felt was really not necessarily going to be the option here. I felt that Elvis Brenner is the better striker in this matchup, and that Krzyzewski, who's kind of with 9 submissions, 5 of which have guillotines and 4 of which are rear naked chokes, 6 round 1 finishes. This guy needs to finish Elves and needs to do it kind of early. And we've seen Elves.
You just call this guy fucking Elves?
Elves?
Yeah, it's Elvis.
Whatever. Fuck him. Mr. Brenner is somebody with 3 decision losses who, as you watched in his last fight, you have to fucking kill him to finish him. So I like Elves, Mr. Brenner, to get it done here.
Will Ferrell, Elf. Yeah, I get it. I'm not rushing on anything here.
You should be. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll look into it further. We'll see. I am tempted to take a dog shot for no reason.
Why? That makes no sense.
I literally just said for no reason.
It's literally in Brazil. He's also Brazilian, and it's short notice for this random guy.
Yeah, but we've seen people's days just get ruined before. And Elvis Brenner came into the UFC on short notice and ruined someone else's life.
Yeah, but
why wouldn't it be the circle of life?
Yeah, but there's no actual handicap in that. You're just saying, making no sense.
I legitimately told you I did not look into this fight, and I am leaning towards the dog for no reason.
Well, so then don't say that.
Me. I literally said it was for no reason. And
I gave you a reason not to. I just gave my breakdown. Was it that bad?
You were that bad. Legitimately.
Well, fuck you then. You just go by yourself.
No, I'm just kidding.
Fucking need me anyway.
Hey now, Guru, don't be so existential. Maui Cowie Fernandez versus the
You
Bone
used that
Crusher.
word wrong.
Mark Giacchese. Well, you're wondering what you even exist on this show for.
I'm
You're
not
wondering what
wondering.
your place in the show. Oh God,
You're wondering.
you're wondering. You just said
And
it.
now
Anyways,
everybody else is wondering.
oh God, Cowie Fernandez at plus 145, Giacchese at minus 175. Literally just kind of saying, listen, all right, Shady is all over Giacchese, D1 veteran with both knee pads. Oh, baby. Giacchese, these are all of Shady's bets, shitty bum ass bets. And that's a compliment. I kind of think that Cowie could be interesting here from the perspective of I don't think Giacchese's finishing anybody at this stage.
No.
And I think Cowie has like a chance to do something crazy here. And I think the thing that sketches me is that I don't necessarily trust his cardio 100%.
Yeah.
But I really don't want anything to do with Diakese at minus money odds these days. It seems like it's bad for your health, so I'm going to avoid it. I mean, maybe the pick at this stage is Giacchese, unless I find a little more in my future research. I'm a little behind. Sorry, guys. Last couple fights here a little sketchy for me. So, Guru, you got anything real to tell the people?
Honestly, that even though I taped this fight, this was one of the sketchiest fights on the card, I felt. Obviously that line has gotten wider from where it opened up at. Kai Fernandez is somebody that's got nice lead attacks. He's got that nice jab and front kick. He's got decent range management, floating top control, good scrambles of his own. But his problem is he doesn't necessarily have fantastic takedown defense, right? He kind of lacks his own fight ending damage at times. And he's got the really questionable competition. But obviously he's gotten this call for a reason, 2-1 in the LFA, and that decision he lost was pretty close, from my memory. So yeah, like you're saying, DeCasey, even though he's 30, he just kind of fights a little bit older than that. That Michael Johnson loss is never a good look. And yeah, the big problem is the cardio from Fernandez. Will be interesting to see if what he does if he can't get up. But 3 submission losses for DeCasey as well. So even though Kai only has 2, he still might even he could steal one. I mean, why the fuck not? In Brazil.
In Brazil. All right, that's it. Really appreciate all you guys. Really just great being part of this community. You guys support us so much. Means a lot to produce this content and put it out weekly for you guys. We really just have a good time. I don't know any other way to put it. Like,
I love it.
really not taking ourselves too seriously, but we take the content seriously. You know what I mean? Like, we live for these fights. My girlfriend can tell you firsthand how much time I spend doing this stuff and
Same.
and how dedicated but like at the same time, like there's a reason, like really driven by the process and like enjoying breaking down how people fight, what their tendencies are, being right about picks. And it's all part of the game. Really appreciate you guys for making it even better, because without MMA Twitter would probably go crazy at times. And you guys do drive me crazy sometimes too, but like it is fun entertainment. So without further ado, like do your thing, throw the like, please subscribe and
TV, fucking styling and profiling, man. I remember when we started this show, you were so your personality was so in a shell. And
I was uptight.
You were so uptight, and you've went through so much of your own personal growth since starting this show, and the show's went through its own growth. And personally, professionally, like the way in which we handicap, how we went about it, and just kind of how we've even went about our lives. Obviously, having girlfriends and stuff like that. Like, life has certainly changed a lot for us throughout this time, and just to hear the way that you've been, just tonight specifically, like, I mean, taking the helm, breaking down fights, personality, making jokes, like that's you're kind of known as like the old man. So like you're to have that much vigor and vibe is fire, man. And then it's good, and it shows how much we do really appreciate this community and how much it's been crucial and important to us, because we don't have any public speaking background, we don't have any fighting background, we just love the sport. and thought it would be cool since we talk about it all the time. Why not talk about it with other people that like to talk about it all the time? So, Arlovsky and Corrado, baby. Audi
Till we die.
5000.
Till we die.
Till we die.
From 500 to 5,000, motherfuckers.
Absolutely. Fucking Sao Paulo, Brazil, man. Crazy card. Gonna be interesting. I'm just hoping it's not like last week to fucking no contests and just the bullshit. I could really use just a nice, clean, wholesome card.
You can use a nice clean hole. Oh my god.
Jesus Christ. I honestly could all the time. But
Jesus.
Listen, on that note, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. We'll be back next week. UFC 295 from Madison Square Garden. Unbelievable. The fights have been mixed around. We got Jiri Prohaska taking on. Who the fuck is he taking on? He's taking on Alex Potan Pereira, whatever the fuck you want to call him. Stone Man coming in, sick fight. And then on short notice, you got Tom Aspinall taking on Sergey Pavlovich, insane in the membrane. That fight is only going to last about 3 minutes. I'll last even less. So hopefully we'll get in there. Those tickets better keep dropping. Guys, please subscribe. We need them subscriptions. Got to get up to 500. And then we, like you said, get up to 5,000. Let's get out of here, guys. Subscribe. Check out my unbelievable co-host, TB Scouting MMA, Twitter, Verdict, Instagram, and Tapology. You can follow me, the Guru Scouting MMA, Twitter, Verdict, Instagram, and Tapology. Ghost, how do I not follow you?
Great question.
Give me a
Go
follow
fix
on
that.
Yeah, obviously. I don't know how I don't already follow you. That's my mistake. Of course, I'll follow you. Guys, next week, 295 with Blood Money. Be there or be square. See ya.